let me go share. What do I do? So we were, yes. Yes, okay. Yes, so we are here. And to this part, Campbell added something. So actually here you have the darkness of the ignorance of clinging to I and to mine. And what Campbell was saying is that the ignorance itself is the clinging to I and mine, which means that when you have this off, when you say something of something else here in this context, it means an equivalence. Even though grammatically it's put as of, the ignorance of clinging to I and mind. Okay. Yes, okay, then he didn't say anything new on that part. So now we're starting the next part, the keeping Kimba Naichi. So Tomanki Nubu Kinyaba Chubastebala Toba maybe Chile Tong Tembi Ishikirandri number temperatures. Okay, so until here. So Maribate Kiva Manchi Sundomak Nobunchi Chabasebala. In order to show the function of an impeded in cutting every sprout suffering such as those of suffering, those of birth, old age, sickness, and death that develop through the KPIs develop of that ignorance. Yes, okay. Okay, so let's go in the order of how things are in Tibetan. So, so from that ignorance does something, and what it does is to develop the sufferings of the four sufferings, etc. And then here, Campbell explained that when we say that ignorance here, we are referring to the ignorance of clinging to the I and mine, to me and mine, and not only those specific thoughts, but also any other consciousness and mental factor that are coming from them. All of them are within what here is called marikpa, or ignorance. Okay, so here so being birth, aging, old age, and death. Actually, I translated as names, birth, old age, and death, but here in Tibetan it is verbs, 4 verbs. Kewa, so to be born, to become old, to become sick, to be sick, and to die. So it became sort of a habit because I saw all the time them translated into names, but nouns, but actually it is verbs that we have here. And okay, yeah, so these are usually called the 4 streams of suffering, or the 4 rivers of suffering, and belonging specifically to the human realm. And so here there's an etc. And yes, I didn't include it here. Such as those of, such as those of. So this is the etc. So means that it is the ones that are cited, but on top of that, many others as well. So such as those. And so here Campbell about this etc. saying that it is mainly these 4 ones, but together with them, then many others also. And then we have the sprouts of suffering. And so here the sprouts of suffering is, so this means that the author of the praise has chosen to use the example of sprouts for the suffering. And the sprout is this very tender plant that comes out of the seed itself when it is planted. So the very first thing that comes out of it is very easy to cut. It has nothing solid and difficult it's very tender. And so these sprouts that are tender are the example that are chosen here for the suffering. And then it is not only some of these sufferings that are chosen by, that are referred to by the author, but it is any of them. Yes, and this is what I have translated by every sprout. But literally it is as many as there are. As many as there are. And in spoken Tibetan, Khenpo said, so everything that there is. And so then there is the sword of Manjushri that is able to cut through them, that cuts all the sprouts of suffering, as many as there are. And here Khenpo was saying that ze is actually the honorific for che, to do. So it's just an auxiliary verb used for to cut. And so yes, here Khenpo was saying that so the fact that Manjushri holds these words, it is in order to show that he is cutting through all the sufferings. And so any suffering that there is and that is created by the ignorance. And then you have this expression unimpeded, or that nothing can stop, that does something without obstacle or without difficulty, as Kimbo was saying in English also. And he started by explaining that it meant that it's not that this word of wisdom cuts only through a few of these sprouts of suffering, but it cuts through, it's not that it is not able to cut through only but a few of them. But here, when we say unimpeded, then it means that this one is able to cut through all of them, 100% of them. Yes, and so in short, this unimpededness, so the word tobamevo, which is unimpeded, means that this word does the cutting without any difficulty, very easily. And here, Chile, so the function. So this is the function of, yes, function of being impeded in cutting over. Yes, I forgot to put the tenbi in Chile down tenbi to show the from being in cutting over.
I don't really understand this function. It's like the purpose of being unimpeded.
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yes.
Or the way it works.
The purpose.
The purpose.
Yes, here is the purpose, the function of something. The function of this word, or we can say the action of this word. And because che is to do, and le is the action. So the action that is being done. So that's function or action. And I'll just show. Chile tang tempe yishi. I'm sure that number temperatures. So numbers, you hold the sword of wisdom. Here it is yeshe, so the not intelligence, not sharap, but the jnana, or how do you say this primordial wisdom. You hold the sword of wisdom,
which before was for Buddhas, for all the Buddhas.
Yes.
Yes. Mm.
Yes. Actually, I think that Yeshe, so this primordial wisdom, you start using it from the first Bhumi onwards. So it is not really limited to Buddhas, fully enlightened Buddhas. Hold this to show. To show, represent, symbolize that you possess. Yes. Okay. So you hold the wisdom of the sword of wisdom in order to represent that you possess the function of being unimpeded in cutting away spot. Yes. Now we have everything. Okay. So here, yes. So this function or the action. Yes. So if we put action, then possess might not really go together. Yes, and so here
you are endowed. No.
Yes, yeah, you can put endowed. Yes, possess. Yeah, this doesn't change the meaning. Yeah, endowed with the action.
Being unimpeded, because being unimpeded.
Yes.
Unimpeded. Sorry,
unimpeded,
it's
yeah.
him.
Yes, yes.
It's him?
Yes, it is Manjushri. Yeah. Yeah, but you possess that you're endowed with the function. You possess endowed with. Yeah, it's more or less the same.
I'm
Possess
still
and endowed
having
with.
I'm still having a little bit of trouble with the function action word.
So maybe
Yeah, and so here Campbell
uh,
was explaining by saying that this is the work, this is what the sword does. The sword of wisdom has what the sword of wisdom does is, so its process, what it's doing is to cut through the sprouts of suffering. So it's like, it's just to show that Manjushri does not have this word for nothing. It's just not, it has a function. It actually does something.
Could you say ability?
Ability would be
being
the capacity. Ability is to be able to do something.
The capacity?
No, because here it's you're actually doing it. Manjushri is actually doing that. It's not that he could do that. Having the ability is you could do.
Yeah. Yeah. Then having endowed with the
You have the function.
you can
You
yes,
also,
you
in order
can.
to symbolize that, your wisdom, we could put it like that. Possesses, is endowed with the function of being unimpeding in cutting every sprout of suffering.
that makes it, yeah, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, now it seems a lot more to go through more easily with the function.
Yes.
The function.
Okay, so let me see if I didn't introduce anything extra in from this.
You can perform. You could say that so that you can perform, but then you have to you would have to change the unimpeded. You can perform unimpeded. You can perform something unimpeded.
Here it's not that you can. It's like you hear jilet and denba. Den is to have. So you have the action, or you do the action, or you have the function of doing something. It's in the affirmation. It's not that you could do something. But anyhow, this is for the literal version. After you can think of it and see how you want to put it in a well-written one. But here I'm staying close to the original. Let me just check that. Yes, okay. Yes. Yeah. So there's another some of that yes. Okay. The way that I put the sentence makes me need to add this your wisdom in brackets, but I'm not adding anything from the. It's not an interpretation. It's actually because here you have so this here the genitive makes it sure that it is the sword of wisdom that has actually the function of. So yeah, this is good. Okay, yes, then is je to have. So to have the function, or to be endowed, or to possess the function. And here about the sword itself, Campbell was saying that from our side, when we look towards, when we look from our side towards Manjushri, it looks like there is a sword that he's holding. but actually this word represents his wisdom, and that wisdom is the wisdom of knowing of the twofold knowledge of omniscience, knowing things as they are and in all their as many as they are, knowing them in their nature and in their diversity. Okay, so this is the companion, the twofold knowledge, and also the example for this wisdom is a sword, because the intelligence that allows Manjushri to see all phenomena exactly as they are is extremely sharp, and therefore we have the image of the sword, which is sharp. And okay, so Campbell was saying that Manjushri holds this sword in his hand, and what this sword represents is the wisdom. And so Campbell summarized all this passage, saying that in short, what this sword that Manjushri is holding in his hand is that he has the ability, or he possesses what is necessary to cut the sprouts of what would have become a big plant or a tree, of all the suffering that are created by ignorance. Okay. Okay, so this is from that part. So we reach the next one. So we finished the praise to the mind and speech, and now we reach the praise to the body. Okay. Middle to chamber. Yes, I didn't put in bold the passages. Okay. Since ever. meaning. Since before since many uncountable karmas. Purified the two defilements together with their, how do you put bacha, traces, or don't remember exactly now. Let's see in the dictionary and then do it. Tendencies, habitual tendencies. And okay. So here it starts by ngedundu, so in the definitive meaning. And so Kimball was saying that this is another way of saying if we want to say things as they are, meaning being completely true. And so this refers to the fact that we usually distinguish between teachings pertaining to the definitive meaning and those pertaining to the temporary, or sometimes also they say pedagogical meaning, or let me see how they put in the dictionary. And then yes, expedient meaning. Okay, so usually you have this distinction between definitive and expedient meanings, and out of these two, the definitive meaning is teachings that you can take literally, that actually say what they want, what they are intended to say. That do not need any interpretation. That is the definitive meaning. And on the other side, the teachings of the expedient meaning are those that you cannot understand, yes, whose meaning cannot be directly understood just as the words are saying it. So you need some interpretation in order to see what the speaker meant. So in expedient meaning, it's kind of indirect teachings. And so here in the definitive meanings, meaning that in reality, if we were to say things frankly or straightforward, yes, that's the better explanation, better word for what Kempo was saying. To say things straightforward, then so you, Manjushri, so here, since I put since ever, but I don't know. Let's see if the dictionary has a better proposition for that. Yes, let's look at it after having gone through the Campbell's explanation. It will be more useful. And so then, for that Campbell was saying, it means that since the very beginning, so since a very, very long time, or since the very beginning, or the very first part of things, or when the very beginning of when things were started in the first place. And so in short, it means at a moment in time in the past where we cannot actually put a date and pinpoint a moment, because it is so long ago and so much before that you cannot actually find a moment and say, okay, so that was that moment. And so in short, it means in millions and trillions of kalpas before, and extremely long time ago. So this is the idea of döne. And so here in the dictionary it says beginningless in early time, first, beginning, primordial, primitive, primeval. Yeah. So yeah, I don't really find something that conveys what the Kempo said, but now you have the meaning. So I just put since ever, and then right after there's an explanation of what by the author of the commentary, by Jamie Kentawampo. And here, because of this te, which means meaning, kalpa traumepas, so since many uncountable kalpas. And here kalpa is, like Kemba was saying, usually translated as eon. So put that also here as eons. And Kemba was saying that there are, in the tradition of the Abhidharma, you find big or great kalpas and smaller kalpas, lesser kalpas. I don't know what the exact terminology has been chosen, but anyhow, great and lesser. And in one great kalpa, there are 80 smaller kalpas. And so in one great kalpa, there is true. And then Kemba has found the 100 millions. Sure. So I'll put here. Jawadins plus Jawadin 6, yeah. 600 million plus Jawa 10 million. $10 million plus Sayachi. Saya is 1 million. Jordan Sayachi. There's a problem. 7 million. Saya is 1 million and Chewa was 10 million. Ah, yes, okay. So $1 million. Okay, so we can put this together as
Jawadun is 17 or 17?
17
times 10.
Jawadun, not Dunchu. Jawadun.
Because, but if Chewa is 10,000.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, right. 70 and then 1. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm bad with numbers. Okay. So it is and some things. So the exact count is something like that. And there's still the thousands and hundreds that are missing, but Kempo did not cite them. So Kempo said that this is the exact count can be found in the Abhidharma, in the teachings on the Abhidharma, Chöngamba. And so here we are talking about these great kalpas, not the smaller ones, but great kalpas. And when we are talking about an uncalculable, it's not, because in Tibetan it can be understood as that cannot be counted, kalpas that cannot be counted, meaning an infinite amount of kalpas, but here it's not the case, because one uncountable is a number, just like you have 10, hundreds, thousands, tens, thousands, etc. Then you increase like that until 60 numbers, and you reach what is named uncountable, one uncountable. And so for many of these uncountable amount of great kalpas,
I think maybe their internet went out.
sorry, yes.
Oh, yeah, your internet went out for a sec.
Yes, it looks like the electricity got shut down for a short instant. Okay, so it looks like everything is still okay. So since many uncountable kalpas, many uncountables of kalpas, of great kalpas, so since before that amount of time, yes, another name. Many uncountables of kalpas. Yeah, maybe like that it's better. I don't think that's the actual solution that is usually used for kalpa drame. But yeah, this we can check afterwards. That you find for the amount of times, so to reach enlightenment, and that is usually three uncountables. And so we said that the Buddha has made the efforts of practicing for three uncountables of kalpas, and then he got enlightened. So it's the same. We can check that solution in this kind of context. Okay. Yes. Okay. And so afterwards, you must have purified the two defilements. You have purified the two defilements. And here, the two defilements, Kempo gave an explanation. And he says that the two defilements are the defilement of the negative emotions and the defilement of omniscience. Anuttara Tantra, a Shastra from the Gulama, which says whatever is the conceptual thoughts of the three, how do you say, korsum, the three, yes, no, I don't remember that. Korsum, the three spheres, yes, from the three factor, no, not the three spheres, yeah, subject, agent, and object. Okay, so from the three spheres is, so whatever is whatever conceptual thoughts within the three spheres is defined to be the defilement of omniscience, of knowledge. And so that's the definition that is found in the Anuttara Tantra Shastra for the defilement of knowledge. And then whatever conceptual thoughts like greed, etc., those are the defilements of negative emotions. And this is how they are defined, and so here the three spheres, or korsum, or the three, yes, so the three sphere, that seems to be the technical term. Kembo said that for an act of generosity, for example, for giving something, then you have the person who gives, the recipient of the act of giving, and the object that is given. So these are the three spheres. And when we talk about these three spheres, what we are referring to is either is what is called either or clinging to characteristics, tenzin. And so it is this part of the defilements that is defined as the three spheres. And
then we lost the first part of the sentence. The internet stopped. So the second was the characteristics. First one.
The first one, yes. So the first one is the duality. So clinging to two, to yours, me, and others, etc. So the two, and or, and this is actually duality, or clinging to duality or clinging to characteristics is actually the same. It refers to the same thing, which is what I found interesting in what Kembo was explaining, because usually we have this idea that these are separate things. Okay. And so the reason why in the definition it says the conceptual thoughts of the tree sphere, pertaining to the tree sphere. So this conceptual thoughts, the reason why there's this conceptual thoughts is because in reality, as Kembo was saying, neither me or mine actually exist, are found in the reality. And so it is only what is perceived by a mind that is under the illusion. And for that reason, it is making an obstacle. It is preventing preventing to obtain the state of enlightenment, the state of Buddha. So that is for the defilements of how the defilement of omniscience are defined. And now, as for the negative emotions, so the example that is given is Serna in the root text, and greed. And greed is when you're not able, both when you're not able to give something, and when you yourself are not able to use what you possess. And so because this comes from the fact that you have clinging to the object that is so strong that you cannot give it and you cannot use it yourself either. And so this, yes, so this is how Kembo defined greed. And so in the root text of the Anuttara Tantra Shastra, it was saying that there's so conceptual thoughts such as greed, etc. And so in the etc. here, and then you have all the others like aversion and the others. And here you can fit, like the Kembo was saying, the 6 root negative emotions. And so all of these are the defilement of the negative emotions. And so here, so we're saying that Manjushri have purified the 2 defilements together with their habitual tendencies. And so here, what this means, like Kembo was saying, is that not only has Manjushri purified the 2 defilements themselves, but on top of that, then he has also purified their habitual tendencies. And Kembo was saying that there's something very important to understand here, which is that what is not a habitual tendency, what is the emotion that is overtly manifested, and then Manjur, and this is, for example, like anger or hatred, etc. And it becomes manifest when we see, for example, for anger, that someone has a face that is all red because of him being so upset, etc. So this is really manifest. You can see it's clear. So it is there. And then when we talk about what is Banyel, latent, yes, latent. So here, latent and latent negative emotion and habitual tendencies mean the same thing. So a latent negative emotion here is the Corto? It cut?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Yes. So Campbell was, yes, now I see that there's this thing. Your internet connection is not good. Okay. So Campbell was saying that the latent negative emotion is when the negative emotion is in a state of something like a seed that is ready to sprout, ready to come out. And so this is what we call habitual tendencies. It's not the fully blown anger, fully blown attachment to objects, etc., like the Campbell was saying, but it is something that is there that is like a seed that is ready to become fully blown emotions. Yes, and so Campbell was saying that when we are saying that Manjushri has purified the two defilements, not only do we say that the defilements themselves have been purified, but it is not like if he got rid of the two defilements while still having the seeds that were just about to become new new defilements, new negative emotions. But here, that's why the text, the commentary says, two defilements together with the habitual tendencies. And so Campbell was saying, frankly speaking, when you have purified the two defilements together with the habitual tendencies, then there's no other words than having reached full enlightenment. And so, yes, and so purified here, the verb purified can be explained as pure or cleared. He said pure because that can also be used as an adjective, darpa. And so in that case, it is pure, and cleared, which means that there was something that was there and that was cleared out. So purified. And then the ching here, which is a word to make the junction between what was just said now and what is going to be said right after. So Campbell was saying that it sounds like what in English we would call a conjunction. Okay. Ramga la zombie. Sai tar sun ne ando ki yanten tada ki yonsu zombie sangi ne yin kyang. 如果老师这句他是没事，帮他看看他那个那样子。So, even though you are fully in reality Buddha who has completed, was thoroughly completed, the body or on the qualities of abandoning and realizing such a person in the relative and also talk something in chaos. Relative has to and who has Tarson to the who has reached the perfection extreme of the reach the end, maybe, yeah, of the 10 bhumis, such as Rabgat, perfect joy. Donne Dachings. Put the word here. Donne. Okay. So here, so the 10 bhumis such as perfect joy. Perfect joy is the name for the first bhumi, Raptogawa, and so the Sagittarians. So you have reached the end, or yes, the final result, Sagittarius of the 10 bhumis. And so the 10 bhumis are the, yes, 10 bhumis. I mean, when you ta here, let's see what they use for ta. Tell the extreme limits, the end, finality. Yes. The end of 10 bhumis, yes. So it means that you have practiced and reached the result. You have gone until the end of 10 bhumis, meaning that after the 10 bhumis, it is enlightenment itself. So in other words, you have reached the end of the 10 bhumis, you're fully enlightened. And so here, the end here, can one say it in English, the final result. So it means that he has accomplished everything that needed to be accomplished on the 10 bhumis. And sun is to mean that you have reached, so to reach to a place, you have reached to the end of the 10 bhumis. Yeah. If you want to put final result, then we would need to put a result in square brackets. Okay. And so once Tarsone 판독인데 단독 루트 오피스 has, yes, since there's a ne here, it means that first this action happens and then the second one. So I'm wrong here. I need to put this and has to recommit. Okay, even though you're in reality a Buddha who has reached the end of the 10 bhumis, such as perfect joy, and has thoroughly completed, yes, the body of the qualities of abandoning and realizing. Here, abandoning. So usually we talk about two types of qualities: those of abandoning defects and acquiring qualities. And so here, what needs to be abandoned is the defilements, and what needs to be realized or acquired is the qualities of enlightenment. And so here, because Manjushri has already reached the end of the 10 bhumis, then he has already developed in his being all these qualities that are to be developed. And those are the hundreds, yes, those qualities here refer to those that we acquire along the path of the bhumis. So for example, in the first bhumi, you have 12 sets of 100 different qualities. And one of them is to be able to see 100 lifetimes that we had before, 100 lifetimes in the future, to be able to go to, at the same time, to 100 different Buddha fields, and to help 100 different beings at the same time, etc., etc. So these are there are 12 sets of 100 qualities in the first bhumi, and then it decreases, multiplies over the 10 bhumis. So those are the qualities that are acquired and that Manjushri has already fully acquired. And then Kempo was saying that actually, when we talk about abandoning the defects and acquiring the qualities, these two processes actually happen simultaneously. Because if one if one abandons defects or what needs to be abandoned, then automatically the qualities will show up in us. And Kempo gave the example of the light of the sun and the moon, and that if at the beginning they are obscured by clouds, etc., the moment you remove the clouds, the moment you abandon the defects, at that very moment the light of the qualities is able to shine on the objects that we want to see. So the two things are simultaneous. At the same time you abandon defects, and at the same time you're acquiring. So this happens together. Okay, and then tadas, and so here, so it is the qualities of abandoning and realizing. So this is obviously not the right way of putting things, but that's what it means. I'm sure there's another conventional translation for that. Okay. And so here the praise is saying that Manjushri has gained the qualities of abandoning and realizing, not a few of them, but all of them, tada. So it's not a few here and there that he has acquired of these qualities, but all of them. And so here, to complete the body of the qualities. And here, to is to complete. So he has fully, it's like if you say we have built something, you have completed a building or completed an action. So here you have completing the, implied, you have completed building up the body of these qualities. So thoroughly complete, I translate as thoroughly, and the body, yes, and the body of these qualities. And so because of that, then here Sangye Ngöyin, so you're in reality of your real Buddha. You're in reality Buddha, or a real Buddha. Even though you are, yes, I think a real Buddha is more in keeping with what is the literal expression. So even though you are a real Buddha, Sangye Ngöyin, Ngöne is really, your real Buddha has reached the environment. Okay. And so this means Sangye Rangre. Segirre. So you're actually a Buddha. You're a real Buddha. Yes. Okay. So yeah. Too far.
Drupchen,
Yes.
in the could you put, would it be okay to put the bodies, you completed the body with all the qualities?
No, it's the body of the qualities.
It's of the qualities.
Yes, yes. The
Okay.
body of someone is actually is as if we are saying that what composes the body of a Buddha is his qualities.
I see.
That's the metaphor
Okay.
behind it.
Okay. And then in the explanation that you gave above, the qualities of abandoning or the qualities through abandoning?
No, the
Which one?
qualities of abandoning.
Of abandoning. Okay.
Yes, and of realizing.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know exactly how translators have dealt with this problem because it sounds strange. Qualities of abandoning, especially qualities of abandoning. But yeah, there must be a solution somewhere. I don't know. But in Tibetan, it is pang wei yunten, tok wei yunten. Yunten quality, pang wei yunten. So the quality of abandoning and the quality of realizing. Yeah, and I think that the reason why both of them are qualified or are said to be qualities is because the process is simultaneous. It's actually the same thing that happens, which is why we end up with this strange expression of qualities of leaving aside something. Okay, so see you after a short break.
Turn a little bit.
Mm. Okay, so let's continue. Yes. It was this idea of the body of the qualities. That is, this we finished this part. And then those. Nambe Yaraseki Chubala Lobi Tsultu Shusos. Okay. So in the expedient meaning, Chibutondos, you take the form of in the form of the two, let's see what this in the dictionary, I think the eldest or the principal to the chief. Chief among all, from the chief or the principal among all the Galsesambakungis. Sarvas in the form of the chief of the principal, all the principal among all the Sarvas as the son of the victorious and drawn to so near all the victorious, all the conquerors. I don't have to put ones. Conquerors near all the conquerors and their sons in the 10th direction. You Oh, yes, okay. Abide in the form. In the form of the children, some colors. Some colors. Yeah, all the colors in the some directions. And I think it's about a lobby too. To show us, show that you are engaged in the training of the your training in the conduct of the bodhisattvas. Conquerors. Okay. So here in the expedient meaning in the sense of like the Kimber was saying, from what we are seeing on our side, what we see is the expedient meaning. Okay, and then then Kimber was commenting the son of the conquerors, and here Gelse or princes, sons of the conquerors. Yes, Kimber said prince at some point. So, but yeah. I'll put in the commentary. Because it doesn't fit so well in this context. So Gelse, here, the son of the conquerors, and so usually when we hear son of the conquerors, it is referring to the bodhisattvas, but we also say that the children of the body of a Buddha are the Shravakas or the hearers. The children of the speech of a Buddha are the Pratyekya Buddhas, Buddha by themselves, solitary Buddhas, and the children of the mind of the Buddha are the Bodhisattvas. So there's this, Campbell was saying that there's this kind of expression of, or a way of saying how the children of the Buddhas are. Yet the consecrated expression for sons of the conquerors or children of the Buddhas is only used for bodhisattvas. Okay, and then Campbell was commenting on Tuo, so the chief among Sambakung Tuo, yes, the eldest. And the eldest, yeah, and then Tuo is meaning here the eldest child or the eldest son, and then Jamaican Tompo explains here as Tuo meaning the principle. So you could say the chief or the eldest, or in other words, the principal among all the bodhisattvas. Yes, okay, so this is for Tuo, the eldest. And so in training in the conduct of the bodhisattvas, sons of the conquerors, and so Campbell was saying that the conduct or what bodhisattvas do, the actions of bodhisattvas are infinite, and yet there is nothing of all that there will be of this infinite conduct that cannot be fitted within the 6 parameters. And this is just like you see in the Bodhisattva, Khenpo was saying. It explains a lot of things, and yet there's nothing in the whole text that cannot be said to fit in one of the 6 parameters. There's nothing else than the 6 parameters that the Bodhisattva is about. Okay, and so yes, and so your training in the conduct of bodhisattvas, on the conduct of bodhisattvas. And so Khenpo concluded by saying that this is what is usually found in the sutras. This is the way that the sutra see Manjushri. As even though he is a fully enlightened being, he's still on the 10th bhumi as the principle of all the bodhisattvas training, yes, in the conduct of bodhisattvas. In the conduct or the way of the bodhisattvas, right? Because that's what usually translates to the way of the bodhisattvas for bodhisattva. Okay. Teyang. Na choktar na champal sangi yimbar. So, and yet in on the side of the mantras, so this is something that is kind of also difficult to translate, because in the West we have been used to hearing the difference between the Sutrayana and the Vajrayana. And in Tibetan, they never say Vajrayana. They will never say, oh, it's very rare to hear them say Dorje Tegpa. They will only say in the mantras. And so now, and not only meaning the mantras that we recite, but the whole Vajrayana is called Na mantras. So this is why I added this secret here, because when we say secret mantras, then it's kind of, we are also used to know that secret mantras means Vajrayana.
Can you write secret without the brackets? Do you think, at least in the communicative?
Yes, I think so, yeah. Sangha, yes, because we also have, we can say Nga or Sangha also. Sangha Lola. And Sangha is secret, so yeah, both work okay. So on the side of the secret mantras, or we could also say, instead of secret mantras, we could say on the side of the mantra yana. So adding yana instead of secret. Okay. But I don't remember. Yes, yeah. I don't know. Maybe Nagiteba. So the vehicle of the mantras. Maybe it's more rare. It's less common. Okay. So even if there is no doubt as to Manjushri being a Buddha, dans les 15, Champel Shinkechitole Tokyo Zobatang Power Tang Surmetenwi To Nile 15 Sangesu Salvar Shibi Chirro. even so in the sutras, the sutra of the arrangement of the field of Manjushri. Here I'm roughly translating it. Like here also here Manjushri stands for Jampel. Jampel, which means a glory of gentle glory. So it would be Manju Gosha. I can put Manju Gosha actually. Okay. And for the Manju Gosha, says that he completed the 10 strengths and the samadhi of power draw. Let's see if dictionary has readily an answer for that. No. Ah, yes. Power draw, heroic failure, stability. And samadhi of brave, going as a hero. Samadhi. Let's be literal. Hero. Someone is going as a hero. Sutras of Angulimala. So here I'm reverting to the Sanskrit because we're used to it. So it is 10 words, rosary of fingers. Also clearly state that he is a Buddha. And then Shipi Chiros, then you have this Chiro, which so I could put this explains, this is the reason for what said here. Yes. So for what is said here, meaning the fact that he is a fully enlightened Buddha. Okay. Kudeang Juta Jutang Juni She Tenbe Gyadang Juni Gengi Zeberstreba Des Kudeang's body is beautifully adorned with the ornaments of the 10 times 10 and 12 marks, major and minor marks Okay. So here, yes, I don't know if it's we could understand this body of yours or simply this body. Okay, so yeah, to stay more literal, this body is beautifully adorned. Okay, adorned here, Campbell was saying that tre is a verb that can be used as for clothes, so to dress the clothes, to put one's clothes on. And tre can also be used for jewelry, for ornaments. So being made beautiful by jewelry and to put clothes on. And then here, since it's in context of jewelry, then I chose to limit the meaning to adorn to what applies to jewelry. That's why I have adorned in my translation. And then now the 112. And so you have the 32 major marks and the 80 minor marks. And so 80 plus 32 makes 112, which is why we have this number here. And about the major and minor marks, Campbell was saying that the major marks are depicting all the qualities that the body of the Buddha has. And for example, saying that he has this drawing on his palms that he's yes, I don't remember which one he cited, but yeah, so it's like, for example, yes, the fingers are have a very harmonious shape. So this is one of the major marks. And then in the minor marks, this will be put into more detail, saying that the figures are like this and like that and like that. And so it's kind of growing up or going into more detail what the 32 major marks say is found in the 80 minor marks. So the 80 minor marks, as Campbell was saying, is just a way to make it more clear or to go in more detail about the qualities of the Buddha, the Buddha's body. Okay. Yeah, I think we have covered everything he said. Yes. So I need to put the bold here. This has been done such a thousand and little. Let's reform. Okay, such a thousand and then complete. Of the qualities. Okay. 이제 돌고. 돌죠. 꾸이 number number. balance. Kui numbers. And this is something that I've forgotten to include. Kui numbers. So in the form, yes, in the form of, okay. Cool. It's fine. Here's nothing. Here's nothing again. Okay. Three minutes left. Do you have any questions that we could ask Kempo, or maybe I was not clear enough?
I don't know exactly how to put this samadhi of going as a hero. Is there any other suggestion for that?
Power thing is in, let me see what this means. Means as. So the Tibetan dictionary is very helpful. It says it's the name of a samadhi. I think this is one of the last samadhis. Surangama samadhi. Looks to me as one of the samadhis that only Buddhas possess, but let's check.
In the definition below that one, not below, on top of that, you say name of the first meditative stability of the first. So it's not a,
no, I don't think there are some errors in this glossary definitions. 84,000 glossary definitions. Yeah, I already found a few of them and reported. Yeah, it's a working process. But yeah, doesn't the first meditative stability would be is there this what are they? Manjushri. Manjushri. Ah, no, it's not here. Manjushri. Ah, maybe like that. Manjushri, right. Yeah, so this is of the formless realm, so I'm mistaking myself. Manjushri. Pardra, I don't think it is one of these. So it's not Manjushri. Something she. Something she. Yeah, there. Yes, usually when you say first, second, third, and fourth, it's they are given numbers and not names. No, there's nowhere this one is given the name of going as a hero. No, I remember this is found somewhere in the Abhidharma when it comes to either the 10th. Yeah, I think it's in the qualities of the Buddha, in the part that describes the Buddha, or maybe the 10th Bhumi or the 11th Bhumi. Maybe the thing is in, yeah. Let me check in, not in as the entry, but there's an I have an application where I can search inside the definitions. So let's see if there's an entry which has in it this part writing engine. Ranjunshi, maybe in a more recent version, has contemplation of moving as a spiritual warrior. Yeah, there's nothing inside definitions.
Have you seen in Padmakara?
In the Padmakara glossary?
Mm-hmm.
It's there?
Yes, it seems that the area of the collaborators, the glossary is bigger.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know
And
if
what does it say?
I haven't just asking you. I haven't opened the but I can.
Okay.
Okay, where is what is we have to
yeah.
tell me what is the word in Tibetan so I can put copy paste. I can.
Word rating is in here. Put into red.
Even it's used.
Okay. So time for the prayer now.
Yes.